My father, most people know him as Booker T. Pettiford. He was the originator, founder of the quartet, Traveling Sextex of Roxborough. And out of that quartet, his thoughts in life was that he wanted a family quartet to sing gospel. He was a Sunday school teacher. He was a superintendent at Young Shepherd Baptist Church. Now, his dream was that have a family quartet. He started this with his children, and then he branched out and he got to know Vic Hester. Vic Hester was always a member of the Traveling Sextex, but there were other members along the way. But during all of the process, my father wanted his children. So once we got the sound that he wanted, we were old enough as the group went on, and my first time hearing them, I think I was about 7 or 8. We used to hear them rehearse in one room. We would be in the other one. I said we, George, Hassie, Morgan, and myself would be in another room listening to them. Then after they rehearsal, my father would call us in. He said, okay, let's go over a song. And one of the reasons he wanted all of us together because he wanted all of his kids to be leaders. And in order to be a member of his group, you had to be a leader. Every member that sang in the Traveling Sextet were able to lead. Van was in the group, Burley was in the group, my other brother Roper was in the group, George joined the group. So, but they were the best group around here, I have to say that. Even though it was my father, it was a sound that other groups did not have. And he enjoyed singing, he loved to sing, and he believed that his calling was singing to keep his personal family together, to sing. So there is a family tree as far as the group that came through the seeds of Booker and Enid Pettiford. I will give you a rundown of the family tree. And once you trace your roots back to your singing where you got started, it would end up with Booker and Enid Pettiford as the root of the people who started this, got this family going. And we all 9 of us could sing. This is the Booker and Enid family tree of gospel singers that has long lived and continue to sing. Now, there are still singers out there that if you follow your roots, you're going to end right back with Booker and Enid Pettiford as the root of this tree. And I thank God and I praise God every day that God allowed me to be able to tell this story. So when some of the groups look at themselves and find out that, hey, I'm some kin to Reverend Pettiford. If you're akin to me, your family roots will go back to this tree. It's just that simple. God made it, he put it together, and here it is. My first leading a song as a member of this family, I never led a song with the Traveling Sextex. My first leading a song was with the Joylettes of Roxborough. There was McArthur Pettiford and the sisters, and I was just happened to be home one Sunday. So Sister Pettiford came, Martha, and told me to get in the car, come on, go with us, we going singing, okay? I had never sang with them, but we rehearsed a song on the way to church. Sister Martha said, well, you will lead this song, and she just took the place of my father. So, but we sang with them for years, we loved it. That was a wonderful group. I kind of hate when I left, but then the Gospel Travelers came along. And there were Burley, there was Vic Hester, there was David Ramsey, there was Freddie McGee, and there was myself. Those were the original Mighty Gospel Travelers. So then, as David became a knitted part of the Mighty Gospel Travelers, he has always been there. Even before then, he was there. He and I go back a long ways. I can't tell you about everything, but anyway, we go back a long way. We have been friends a long way. We made a joke out of it. We said, David is a Pettiford, he just don't know it. You know, we brought him in, we just haven't given him the papers yet. But he know if we need him, we can call him. And anytime we need him, we can call him. So then, sometime during the process of the Mighty Gospel Travelers, then there was the Mighty Gospel Traveler Junior that branched off from the Mighty Gospel Travelers. So there was Stacy, Dean, Beverly, Montrell, Richardson. So this is how the family grew. All right. When George left, George moved to New Jersey. When he came back, George had his own children, who was the Loving Sisters, George and the Loving Sisters. And then he decided that he wanted to go with the St. Luke Gospel Singers. But still, he was a branch off from the traveling sextex. So if you follow your roots, all of that started because of Booker and Enid. We go back to the root of the tree of where all of it got started. So then after the Mighty Gospel Travelers, from the Mighty Gospel Travelers branched off was the Gospel Supremes, who was already a member of the Mighty Gospel Travelers. That was Michael Whitfield, David Ramsey, and James Lunsford, which was still the same voices that was blended together with the Mighty Gospel Travelers. Okay, then sometime later in the Gospel Supreme, Stacy joined. But you still, if you go back to your roots, you're going right back to the traveling sextex. So then as the groups began to sing the Gospel Supreme, there was another group that was being born that came out of the roots of Booker T and Annie Pettiford called the Vincent family. And if you go back and look at that, their mother was one of the original members of the traveling sextex, my older sister Gladys. So if you go back, all of this comes together. And it goes right back to the roots of Booker and Enid Pettiford. Now, there's another click to it. Stacy branched off after a while. He went from the Gospel Travelers, Gospel Supreme, to the Spiritual Lights. So there was a branch still from the seed of Booker and Enid Pettiford. So there in Roxborough, if you had a member that was that was from Booker and Enid Pettiford seed, then it was a part of the traveling sextex. And not only that, Vic Hester was always there, and he was just part of the family. So then Mr. Hester had children that started singing. Jim was their leader, he and his sisters. Now, if you follow his family roots, you're going to come right back to the traveling sextex. So during this lifespan, that Booker Pettiford and Enid Pettiford, from their seeds, is a multitude of singers out there now, that if you follow your seeds, your family tree, you'll end back up with Booker and Enid Pettiford. So if you want some good singing, contact this Pettiford family. They will give it to you. All of them has been drilled. They know what to do. They know how to handle themselves, and they know how to handle a song. And they know once they get up, be prepared to do your best for the Lord.